If you're still working with plain data ranges in Excel, you're missing out on one of the most powerful features in the entire application. Excel tables, created with Control-T, automatically expand, use structured references, and make your formulas, charts, and pivot tables dramatically easier to manage. This video will convince you to never use a plain range again. Select any cell in your data and press Control-T. Excel detects the data boundaries, confirms the range with you, and converts it to a table. You'll see banded rows, filter arrows on every header, and a Table Design tab appear on the ribbon. That's it, one shortcut. But what just happened under the hood is transformative. Your data range is now a named, structured, self-expanding object that Excel treats completely differently from a plain range. I have a standard data range, headers in row 1, data below. I click any cell and press Control-T. Excel highlights the range and asks me to confirm. I check that my table has headers as selected and click OK. Immediately, I see the banding and filter arrows. Over on the left side of the ribbon, I see table name. I'll change it from Table 1 to Sales Data. This name is important because every formula can now reference sales data instead of the cell range. This is the #1 reason to use tables. When you add a new row at the bottom of a table, the table automatically expands to include it. Every formula, chart, pivot table, and named range that references the table updates automatically. With plain ranges, adding data means manually updating every formula range, every chart source, and every pivot table connection. Tables eliminate this entire category of maintenance work. Inside a table, formulas use column names instead of cell addresses. Instead of sum of C2 through C100, you write sum of sales data revenue in square brackets. This is called a structured reference, and it's self-documenting. Anyone reading the formula knows exactly what it's calculating. Structured references also auto-expand with the table, so you never need to adjust the range when data grows. This alone prevents hundreds of errors in large workbooks. Watch the difference. In a plain range, my sum formula says equals sum C2 colon C100. If I add row 101, my total is wrong. Now with the table, I type equals SUM, and when I click the revenue column, Excel writes sales data in square brackets revenue. When I add a new row, the table expands, and the sum automatically includes the new value. I never have to touch the formula again, no matter how much data I add. Tables come with filter arrows on every column by default. No need to apply filters manually. Check the Total Row checkbox on the Table Design tab, and a summary row appears at the bottom with drop-down menus for SUM, Average, Count, and more. The Total Row uses the subtotal function, so it automatically respects any active filters. You can also apply table styles for instant professional formatting with alternating row colors. Pivot tables built from tables automatically include new data when you refresh. No more manually expanding the pivot source range. Charts connected to tables auto-update too. This means your dashboards stay current as data grows. And if you use Power Query, tables are the ideal output format because they're structured, named, and self-maintaining. Every reporting workflow in Excel works better when the source data is in a table. Analysis of corporate spreadsheets shows that workbooks using Excel tables have roughly 50% fewer formula errors compared to workbooks using plain ranges. The main reason is auto-expanding references. With plain ranges, formulas that don't include new rows are a silent source of incorrect totals. Tables eliminate this entire error category. When data integrity matters, tables aren't optional, they're essential. If you ever need to convert a table back to a plain range, go to the Table Design tab and click Convert to Range. But there's rarely a good reason to do this. My best practice, convert your data to a table immediately before writing any formulas. Name every table something descriptive, and use structured references in all formulas that reference table data. These 3 habits will make every workbook you build more reliable and easier to maintain. That's why you should always use Excel tables. Press Control-T right now on your current spreadsheet and see the difference for yourself. The practice workbook is linked in the description. Subscribe for more Excel best practices every week skills that make your spreadsheets bulletproof.